No soccer for you, John? You're like off the hook, or hockey?
Man,
Or
I got the double off the hook. So soccer got canceled for scheduling conflict reasons, and then Maisie was going to go to flag football, and then they called that off because of weather. But there's really no weather, so not sure. I think somebody just wanted it off.
Typical Michigan up and down weather, though, here, isn't it? Right? I mean, today was decent, but boy, it's just been up and down and crazy.
It's pre-championship weather.
Yeah, get it all out, right?
Up and down.
It seems like the last few tournaments, the championship has always been kind of the turning point in the weather. You know what I mean? Like the beginning of the championships, usually a little chilly, and then by Saturday, Sunday, it's like, summer, game on. So
who was talking about that? Matt mentioned that specifically when we were talking with him.
Yeah.
The super Matt. He was like, oh yeah, but usually it starts off kind of rainy, and by the end of the weekend it's 90 degrees.
Yeah. I feel like the last, I'm just trying to think since I've been doing it, we've had beautiful weather every single time. I think we got a little rain and it cooled off one day last time, and I feel like that's it. Like that, otherwise it's been spectacular weather.
Yeah, that would have been Marshal Diaries 10.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough day.
Hey, you have them all memorized, don't you, John?
Oh yeah. Yeah. What is this our first podcast brought to all of our viewers from a recording across state lines?
I believe it is.
It is. As Aaron over there on the other side of the lake in Chicago.
Very nice.
Oh boy.
What's it like in Chicago?
It's actually pretty sunny right now. It's kind of nice. I think I'm heading over to the Cubs game later on tonight.
Oh, that's right. Cubbies.
Yeah. So we got to wrap this up in time for me to hop on the red line and make it up to Wrigley.
What time is it in Chicago right now?
It's only 5:30. The game starts at 6:40. So
no, that's not what I was looking for.
It'll be
it's
tight.
Time to go inside the ropes.
Drink to that. So a little something fresh, a little Oberon Sunshine.
Still working on it. What do you got there, Smith?
Oberon Sunshine, lemonade shandy.
Oberon's been expanding their offerings since they were bought out. They've been playing on that brand.
Yeah,
it's been part of the plan.
Yep. So I'm at a conference in Chicago. I got a funny story to tell you guys, and I'm leaving in the kind of right near the end of one of the sessions that make it back here to be able to get on this podcast. Who's walking out, and my foot hits like a spot on the riser as I'm walking out the back of the room, and it makes like a kind of a sound.
Oh boy.
I'm walking out, and I swear everyone in that place turned and looked, and I heard a bunch of chuckles, and I wanted to figure out, like, what do I do with this? Do I just leave it alone? Do I acknowledge that wasn't me? That was my shoe. What do I do?
And try to recreate it. You're definitely trying to recreate it.
What did you do? What did you do? Did you leave it or did you address it?
I just left it. I kept walking out. So now I got to go back to the conference tomorrow, and everyone's going to be like, "Ooh, that's the guy." Yeah, nobody's going to want to sit next to me. So
that grow a little stubble or something, maybe. Yeah, wear your glasses or whatever.
Okay. I'll take my glasses off.
Incognito.
Yeah, there you
go. Doesn't that sound like something that totally sets up for either a Seinfeld or a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode?
It really does.
Yeah.
I could see Larry David stopping and turning and being like, "What are you looking at? There's nothing happening here."
One of my favorite Larry David skits is the one when he's golfing. You guys seen the one when and he's like,
"Just hit. You can't hit him."
There's no way, Larry. You've never hit it that far. And he hits it. He's like, oh, and he hits the guy right in the back. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
You guys are hilarious.
That was great.
Nice. A big day at the Smith house today. So last day of school for seniors, which is cool.
That's right.
Yep. And Lainey's birthday. So Lainey turned 18 on her last day of school as well. So kind of fun, and they're prepping for big regional tennis tourney this weekend as well. So lots going on.
Holy cow!
Graduation
Yeah,
this weekend too, right?
Yeah. Regionals, tennis regionals on Saturday, and then graduation is on Sunday. Yes.
Man.
To unfortunately not align with the visitor kickoff or the volunteer kickoff for the PGA tourney, but nonetheless, we'll have to figure out something.
We'll represent.
Yeah, please do. Get hand out some of those passes.
Yeah. Well, so I'm glad you brought that up. I had a little show and tell I wanted to plan here, and first thing first, I'll show and tell about this year's pass. Officially went through the production line last night, and fully laminated, trimmed, cut, so nobody hurts themselves on the corners.
The barcode on there for scanning at the door. I like it.
Yeah. So
now that's full access. You get full access with that.
You get full access with this pass. And as far as the design considerations this year, I fought with the idea of using the 2016 picture, the original pass picture. But I was like, no, I got to stick with, like, every year it's been a little bit different. So this is a new picture, and there's another sort of question about that picture. I'll come back to it another time. But so the picture and then the color scheme. So you go last year, if you remember, we were solid blue at the top and bottom here, and then we had yellow with the VIP access. And so wrestling around with the combinations of blues, reds, yellows, greens in the first passes. So again, wanted to make sure it was a new combination. So new picture, new combination of colors. And then, of course, the back is where we get most of our customization year to year. And here's the 9 patch right there in the middle.
Classy, clean, simple this year. Yep.
Very classy, clean, and simple. And then, we're got our sponsors on there. Just kind of sticking with themes of this year, things that have come up. Of course, we got our Smith's Tips segment on the podcast. We talked about the alternate tee boxes, so they're in there with a sponsorship. And then sponsored by the original Marshal Diaries with the QR code to the YouTube channel.
I'll drink to that.
All right there.
Very nice. Very nice. Looking good.
Well done. Arts and crafts night for Johnny last night, huh?
Did you get Amy involved too, or is it just you?
No, she's out of town. That's why we just took care of that. And then I won't spend as much time on this, but we talked last time about getting some business cards. So we got ourselves some Marshal Diaries business cards here again with the QR code link to the YouTube channel page and our Clean 9 badge on the back.
Love it. You order like 1,000 of them?
What's that?
Do you order like 1,000 of them for like $10 or something?
Yeah, well, I started with 100. So, but I've already given, guys, I know I'm going to roll with this one, but I've already given my first couple business cards away. And it has to do with, I also have given away my first couple passes because a friend at work found out she, similar to what your mom in the past there, Aaron, right? Was your mom or your aunt who was in the player packet pickup, right?
Yeah.
So Emily Kirchner in the communications group is doing it. She says she's done it every year. So she must have done it with your mom before. So she is on the job of getting not only a pass, not only a business card, but an invite to Saturday Night Live Music in the pack for John Daly. She's going to run it by the PGA first. See if we can make it happen this year.
Oh, I love it. What we need to do is just like when the golfers come by and like practice rounds or something, we need to like sneak one in their back pocket somehow.
Oh, I know.
It's one of the cards, right? Yeah. Or just drop them somewhere. Yeah. Put a big stack of them somewhere.
You know, we're putting a lot of pressure on ourselves with this. Like we got to show up and really marshal hole number 9 better than any other hole if we're bringing all this merch and all this garb with it.
I've got some side note. I've got some t-shirt ideas I've been playing with. I got to put a little bit more time into them, but nice little some merch should be looking good.
Oh, for Marshall Shack, Marshal Diaries.
Oh, you know it. Yep. They're not ready to be unveiled yet. They need some artistic work still, but in the works, at least the design. So more to come.
Is this going to rival Sunday Red?
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be that classy. Well, I don't know if we can class it up quite like that, but yeah, more t-shirt designs. Ron, more t-shirt designs here.
Love it.
Did you guys see Chelsea just texted us? She was saying thanks when we sent the link out for the YouTube or the YouTube link for episode 6. So I got a funny story. This morning, I was sending a note to a couple coworkers about a meeting this afternoon. One of the coworkers is Chelsea at Whirlpool, but I put the wrong Chelsea on the text, and so I yeah, it was great. I'm like something about a 4:00 meeting, and can we grab a room in the B wing and blah blah blah, all this Whirlpool lingo, and yeah, Beretti, I think that's how you pronounce it. Chelsea, she replied with just kind of a question mark. What am I supposed to be doing here? So I had to do the text of shame and say, oops, sorry, wrong Chelsea.
Wrong person.
And if that wasn't enough, I coincidentally, on my way home, I saw that they were putting up all the hole signs. You guys saw I sent that picture. So I go to run up to the tee box, hole 9, to get the picture of the first, image of the big sign up there for hole 9. And guess who's sitting up at the tee box, hole number 9? Chelsea on the golf cart, making some rounds. They're working like crazy, of course, right now. And so she's making some rounds, and I come walking up there, and it must have totally looked like I was just like stalking her. Because who else is up there? I came up the back path, and she's in a golf cart.
You said Amy's out of town right now, too?
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Oh, man. It was so funny. So, yeah, I got a chance to meet her in person, though. That was fantastic. So she's great. And, of course, laughed a little bit about the podcast, and looking forward to catching up with her Sunday at the volunteer party that you're going to miss, Smith.
Yeah. So speaking of which, what's do we know what the calendar of events? I mean, I'm thinking about this in a couple ways, right? We kind of get to kick things off tomorrow as volunteers to go pick up our volunteer packets. We get a welcome event on Sunday night. I'm sure other volunteers are actively working kind of this week in preparation, but those are a couple of the things that kick off for volunteers. What else is going on for volunteers? Any you guys have line of sight to what the rest of the calendar looks like for some of the volunteers out there?
I do. Now we're going to make reference to those infamous emails that I'm sure you get. Did you mention the on the course training?
I did not.
There was a video that came out. Marshal video.
Yep.
So in there, yeah, exactly. They are, that email said, hey, if you're, especially if you're new, if you want to come out on the course, they offered a couple times, they're going to do on the course training, but then link the video, like Aaron said. So that's on there, Smith. So that's got to be on their radar, but
other volunteer life though. Things, let's see, I don't think the marshals at least don't work for any of the for the practice round anymore, right?
Nope.
For what else? You get to golf.
Pro-Am.
You got, is that on Wednesday? So practice round on Tuesday, Pro-Am Wednesday?
Other way around.
Okay.
So Pro-Am Tuesday, practice round Wednesday.
Are you all warmed up, Johnny? You ready for this?
Oh, man.
Defend your title?
Yeah, hopefully be defending the title. I'm fired up. I've got one round in, I mentioned last time at Harbor Shore, but what I did this week is I went over to the practice area. So I just hit the range and the putting green. I think it was me and like one other guy over there. It was like they shut down on Tuesday night. So the course is closed right now. So we were like the last two knuckleheads out there practicing from like 6 till 8 o'clock when they closed the range and putting green. So, well, look at there.
Right on time.
Look at this guy. Surprise, surprise. I know, Brandon. Is that a haircut for you?
This is normal. It was getting long last time you saw me.
There you go, man. Well, hey, thanks for jumping on and joining Inside the Ropes, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Introduce you here to Aaron and Ryan, as he's known as Smeef.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too, Brandon.
Brandon.
Thanks for joining in on the fun with us today.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, man. Hey, before I give a quick intro, you gotta tell us how are things looking coming out of the War Room meeting? I think you just had on the daily check-in of are we ready? Thumb up, thumb down.
We're looking good. We're obviously we call this week advance week. So we start the week and everyone who's not as familiar with the process and they're like, there's got a lot of work to do. We pretty much get 2 weeks worth of work done in this week, but we're trending in the right direction. So things are coming along. Just need your guys' help to keep any rain away over the next week and a half.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Chelsea mentioned last week too when she was on. She was like, yeah, just the weather, what we just need the rain to stay away. And she's thinking of like operational things like the parking and all that. I'm sure you're thinking of too, those parking areas.
Yeah, and we were just actually on our nightly meeting talking rain plan for Pro-Am on Tuesday. So if we put the rain plan together, hopefully we won't have to operate it.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that. That's what we were just talking about. I was like, man, I'm looking forward to getting back out there and hopefully, what'd you say, Aaron? Like, holding on to my championship or whatever, the net low score from last year. With David Toms.
John, you don't know who you're matched up with yet, Johnny?
No, we don't. We find out Monday night.
Okay, fun.
And I'm going to be emceeing the draft this year.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know who to bribe.
Yeah.
It is a random draw.
Yeah, because
So
there's always like this.
I'd say I'd take a bribe, but I don't think it would do you any good.
Everything comes with a price, Brandon. Come on.
Yeah. I was saying you can do anything you want in life as long as you pay for it.
Who's the special guest? Was it Desmond? Did I see? No, not Desmond.
We have Colin Montgomery.
Colin Montgomery. Where I saw a Michigan guy on there for something. That might be for something.
That's the charity outing in August.
Oh, that's in August. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Colin Montgomery is going to be there on Monday night, huh?
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm sure he'll tell some Ryder Cup stories. He's one of the best in the business when it comes to those types of fireside chats. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, that's great.
So the pros don't actually show up to this event. This is just for all the hackers like John.
Yeah, it'll be a fun night. We bring everybody in. We'll have cocktails, nice dinner, and then we're going to move everyone into the auditorium where we'll have about a 45-minute fireside chat with Colin. He'll kind of go through all of his stories, and then we'll move into a different room where the bar will be open again, and then we'll conduct the draft. So I'll get up and kind of introduce all the players that are available, and then we have this randomizer that comes up. So group 4, you're on the clock. Group 7, you're on deck, and it moves fast, but it's a lot of fun. And put everybody a little pressure to who they're gonna try to select and win this thing.
Yeah, because every time you hit the button on the randomizer, you don't know if your team's going to get picked next.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready. So like usually what it is once we get the sheets that they'll hand out, it's like you just start filling in like in order, what's your priority, but then you're checking them off as other teams are picking them.
Yeah.
So that hopefully by the time your name gets
It's
called,
like your fantasy football draft.
What's that?
It's like your fantasy football draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And John, your team, you know who your team is or no?
You mean as far as the other amateurs?
Yeah.
We have an idea, but it usually it could change all the way up until the day of.
Nice.
Well, the day of the draft, I should say. But I got a pretty good idea who I'm playing with.
I think I know who you're playing with.
And one of them, if it's hasn't changed since this morning, talking to Whitehead, is also somebody I played with last year who was on the team with me.
Okay.
So with
hey,
go ahead. And by the way, we're gonna hammer this guy with questions. So can I pause and give an intro for all of our listeners?
That's what I was gonna say. Let's stop talking about your little Pro-Am adventure, boondoggle, whatever it is. Let's introduce our esteemed guest here.
Hold on, though. All the listeners for the podcast are on this call. So I think we've got introductions in good shape.
All right. So we have with us Brandon Haney, who is the championship director for this year's championship, but he is no stranger to the KitchenAid PGA Championship, having served, and correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, You were operations assistant in 2014, an operations manager in 16 and 18, all for the senior PGA, right?
Yep.
And then championship, you were named championship director for 2022.
Yep.
As well, right? So,
Yep.
so bringing that experience to this championship, you were also an operations manager at the Ryder Cup at Whistling Strait, which I think we're gonna be interested to unpack a little bit.
Yep.
It was supposed to be for 2020, right? And then that got rescheduled to 21.
Yeah, we
COVID.
postponed. Yeah.
All right. So Brandon is from DeForest, Wisconsin. He earned his degree in business and marketing from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities and has a decade of experience in sporting events and management. So I think we're in good hands for this tournament, boys.
I appreciate that. It's getting to the point now where I'm kind of one of the old guards at the PGA now. I've been around for 12 plus years. It's bad. It's bad when I can turn on Golf Channel and see golf's greatest rounds that were 10 years ago, and I was a part of them. So
right.
We've entered that part of my career.
That's awesome.
Very fun. You kind of live in 2-year increments based on your history here a little bit. You know, the odd years, I feel like you're just kicked back, not doing anything. It's just the even years, huh? Every 2 years.
Right. I want that gig. If that's
Me too.
We certainly work in those 2-year cycles, but as John can attest to, like last year when the championship was down in Frisco, I spent 3 weeks down there. So living out of a hotel for 3 weeks, supporting all things KitchenAid and PGA. So it's a lot of fun because then I get to travel and see all these other golf courses and meet all the different people associated with their host sites and all that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. I've had a blast the last 12 years doing this.
That's awesome. What I mean, not to mention just the fact that it takes 2 years to plan these things, right?
That's probably the biggest surprise when people start to really dive into what we do. And I'm like, what do you need to be on site 2 years in advance for? But it's a little bit different here, Harbor Shores being unique, and now it's the 6th time we post the championship. But when you go into a site for the first time, it takes a lot of time to identify where you're going to start to build things. So, when we came into Harbor Shores for the first time in 2012, we had to figure out where we were going to build the hospitality, where we were going to put the merchandise, where we were going to do bleachers and all that. So you need to, those first few months are really identifying. And then once you've identified, you start, there's really 2 things. There's the operational phase of starting to build out the parking and transportation plan. And then on the sales side, starting to sell. And we kind of need that 12 to 18 month runway to start selling. And then depending on the size of the event, you have a 6 to 12 month execution phase, which is what we're in now, building and getting ready for the event. And I think I always, when I've had the opportunity to speak to a couple different student groups over the years and people interested in getting in sports, golf is just so different because we don't have that stadium. We don't have the arena. We have to build our infrastructure before we get to operate the event. And it's fun because we get to customize it to each site that we're at, but it's a lot of work, right? You're gonna host thousands of people each day at an event. You got to build all that infrastructure for them to enjoy it. So it comes with its challenges, but it's pretty fun. We
got the feeling from Chelsea that she pretty much does most of the work, but we are curious what your job is. What's a day in the life of your job look like? Obviously,
she said that actually.
Yeah, a lot of planning, right? You were talking about some of that stuff, but what's kind of the job scope of what a championship director does?
Yeah, I'll back up a little bit. So I came up in the operations world, right? I was a swamper, an operations assistant here 10 years ago. So it's been fun to kind of progress and live in that ops world. But when I switched from operations manager to champ director, you kind of like Chelsea, she lives in the operations world, and Kelsey, she lives in the volunteer world, and you live in those silos. So the biggest adjustment for me was to now having to live in everybody's silo, right? I have to live in the volunteer world. I have to live in the sales world. I have to live in the ops world. I have to live in the marketing world. I have to live in the ticketing world. I have to live in the sponsorship world. So I have to really have my finger on the pulse of everything we do. So it's helping and supporting all of the team and ancillary staff who support our championship. But then I oversee all of our media and PR. So if we get media requests, I have to handle those. Helping build out our marketing strategy, having to manage the title sponsorship relationship. So that falls on my plate. So there's a plethora of things I support, but then I also manage myself.
So managing those relationships with KitchenAid and Whirlpool in this case, you were saying, right? So
yeah, it's been a blast, and I've gotten to know the team at Whirlpool over the years, and it's truly like, the best part about doing what we do is we don't just put on a golf tournament. I always say we're not in the golf business, we're in the people business, and I think that's really been evident with the relationship between PGA of America and Whirlpool Corporation. Is I consider Deb O'Connor and Cheney Kavanaugh, like, they're true friends of mine, and that's just because we've been doing this together for years, right? And it's been a lot of fun, and it makes these high stress environments and deadline driven environments much easier to do when you're doing it with people you enjoy being around. So it's been a lot of fun.
for sure. Yeah, you've been around this area for a while now.
Yeah, most of my professional career. So it's a little bittersweet that this is the last one.
Yeah, I mean, you know what this tournament means to this community and all that it's brought in terms of excitement, interest in golf, all of the above, and it'll definitely be missed. But really appreciate all the work that you do to make this thing happen. I can't think of a year where I haven't been just in awe of the way that you guys organize this thing and keep the tight ship running. So that's been great.
Appreciate that. And we take a lot of pride in it too. I personally take a lot of pride in it. And one thing I like to mention is Harbor Shores is the top 100 golf course now. They were number 90 on the top public courses last year, which
That's
is
awesome.
like, yeah, and that's a huge thing in the golf world, right? If you crack that top 100, it brings a whole nother market of people into play. And obviously kudos to the team at Harbor Shores for doing what they do on a day in and day out basis. But I know we've played a small part of that in being able to shine a spotlight through our national TV coverage in this championship over the years to help get them there. So it's pretty cool.
How does that, I'm curious, you're talking about like Harbor Shores being a great golf course. And I know there's a lot of other great golf courses out there. How does the PGA select the locations for some of these different events and different tournaments? I assume it has a lot to do with the sponsor dollars, but tell us a little bit about how that selection process works.
Yeah, it truly is different for each event, right? So PGA of America, we operate and manage the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, the PGA Championship, which is happening right now. Exciting day down at Valhalla today, and then the domestic Ryder Cups. So the home every 4 years with the Ryder Cup. So the selection process is different for each event, right? Especially our two sponsored events driven by KitchenAid and KPMG. There is certainly some input there from our sponsors and where we go. The PGA Championship Ryder Cup, kind of a different animal because the scope is so much bigger. There's only so many courses in the country that can hold an event of those sizes. So we have to look at, what type of infrastructure and space they have outside the golf course. And this year's PGA Championship done in Valhalla has become one of the biggest build-outs we've ever done for a PGA Championship. So not every golf course can handle that. Right? You look at someone like Pine Valley, #1 golf course in the country. They won't ever host an event of that magnitude just because they don't have the space to do it. And then it just kind of balloons even with a Ryder Cup. And I know I'm sure you guys want to get into my time at Whistling Straits, but that court, we built 1.3 million square feet of infrastructure on that golf course. There's only a handful of courses in the world that can handle that, right? So it's that plus sometimes economic support from locals and state come into play. And then just relationships with host sites and that kind of stuff. So there's a method to the madness, but it's not always cut and dry for each event.
So you're saying there's a chance we could have it back or something
LPGA. That's what we're
Yeah,
pushing
maybe
for.
the LP.
There's always a chance.
All right. We're gonna hold on to that.
So what's your next gig? You know, what's coming up next for you after are you heading out of town someplace or picking up another site?
So when I say it was bittersweet for me leaving after this event, it was because an opportunity came my way late last year. So even regardless if we would have extended here at Harbor Shores beyond 2024, I would have been moving. I'll be moving shortly after the championships over down to Frisco, Texas, where our new home of the PGA of America building is. And I'll be taking over as director of operations for our championships department. So I'll oversee all of our service providers and the operational element of all 4 of our spectator championships. So very fortunate. It's bittersweet, but very much looking forward to this new opportunity of mine.
No, congrats. Very
Thank
neat.
you.
Through what years are those 4 events?
Say that again. Sorry.
Through what year are those 4 events? You said?
It's permanent. So I'll be working out of our headquarters, overseeing every year of all of our events.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
very cool, man.
So I'm now gonna, instead of being the team that's on site, I'm gonna be the team that comes in from headquarters during the couple weeks ahead of time. Yeah.
So you're going from being the big boss to being the bigger boss.
You could say that.
Yeah, that was in fact, I think wasn't Chelsea talking about that she said that you at these meetings you have that you in fact remind the staff you prefer to be called the big boss. Is that true? She says
she might have been fibbing you on that one.
Yeah. She may or may not have said that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's good. We had a great team though, and looking forward to. So I'm obviously in that champ director role now, but being able to kind of get back on the operations side, it's going to be something I'm very much looking forward to do, because that's just how I grew up and kind of in my wheelhouse.
Very cool. Well, I know we've been hitting you with a lot of like all the real deal, what's involved with your role and all the hard work that goes into it. Now we have some listener questions that have come in, and yeah, that's right, around the world live.
Yep.
So listener questions come in. It says if you could pick one of the Champions Tour players to grab a drink with, who would it be and why?
I'm going to go with my hometown guy here, Steve Stricker. So I'm originally from Wisconsin. I've gotten to know Steve a little bit over the years. Awesome guy, awesome family. So I'm going with Steve.
Oh, okay.
One of the tour's nicest guys,
and one of the best right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Certainly player of the year last year, winning 6 times, and was close again at the Regions a couple weeks ago. So. Definitely going to be high on the favorite list heading into Harbor Shores.
Isn't he the last year's champion, right? Of the
PGA?
Yep. I thought so. But he's never played Harbor Shores, I don't think.
He is not. This will be his first time at Harbor Shores. He was scheduled to play here 2 years ago. Unfortunately, came down with COVID at the time, so wasn't able to be here. So despite him playing on the Champions Tour for a few years, this will be his first appearance here.
Well, it'll also be interesting with Alker not playing because of, I think was Kelsey telling us this, that it was his daughter's graduation or something. Is that right?
Graduation weekend. So we can't hate on him for not being here, even though it's disappointing to not have one of our past champions here. We understand, and certainly wish he was here, but it's all in good territory there, being able to do that.
You'd think their school would change that for him,
right?
Selfish.
Right. Don't they know what's going on that weekend?
Again, I don't want to draw correlations, but I mean, I have graduation on Sunday that I've got to miss the volunteer event. So the PGA didn't reach out to me though, but
we got a couple people that are going to be rushing over here after graduation's over.
All right. Maybe there's possibility.
So there's still a chance for you too.
At least it's not the following Sunday.
Yeah. That's true. Very good
We'll
point.
take the positive out of it.
Yeah, no kidding. Can you imagine graduation on final round day? That would not be good.
So let me throw another one at you here, Brandon. This one's a little bit more involved, maybe, but I mean, we're trying to leverage your expertise and all the knowledge you bring to the table here. I mean, we're planning a little outing, 12 of us, 12 strong. We're heading up to Traverse City here in August. This is year, 4 or 5 of this, I think. We've done, we've kind of done a couple sites across Michigan, but first time in Traverse City. But so as an operations expert, right? Any guidance on how we can make this 12-man outing a extra spectacular experience? I think we're doing 3 days up there, 2 to 3 courses. I don't know. Looking for your thoughts.
All right. So my first question is, do you make it a competition?
Yes.
What have you done in the past?
What's worked the last 2 or 3 times, we've been doing Ryder Cup format. Yeah.
How many holes do you play in a day?
Just the competition part is only 18 a day, because then what we do is, like, some other guys want to go play a little extra, they can.
I actually did one event that was really fun. It was 2-man teams. We played 27 holes.
All right, I'm writing this down.
Every 9 holes we switched. So the first 9 was best ball, the second 9 was alternate shot, the third 9 was scramble. You could do something like that, and maybe you go the full 18 holes if you're doing it over 3 days. But the 2-man teams are kind of fun.
Yeah.
Instead of the 4-man teams. I really enjoy that. And you can even try to do a bracket style if you're going to do it that way as well.
All right.
You also recommend going out on the town a lot in the evenings?
Absolutely.
So I actually did something similar to this last summer for my bachelor party, and I brought a group of guys over to Kohler, and we played the Kohler courses and had a little competition on it. So I also recommend doing, if any of the courses have a short course or a par 3. So we played both Whistling Straits and Meadow Valleys over at Black Wolf, and then we finished with playing all 8 of us in an 8-some on the Baths, which is their par 3 course, and one of the guys hit a hole-in-one. So as you can imagine, things got a little wild after that one. There's a little pond on the golf course. He ended up going in the pond, so it was a lot of fun. But anytime you can get on one of the par 3 courses, they're usually pretty relaxed and let you play as a bigger group. Highly recommend.
Those are good tips. Hey, it sounds like you can probably get on any golf course in the country. Is that true?
Probably not any golf course. There's a few that might be untouchable, but we got some good connections.
Aaron froze.
I'll pick it up. Where would you go if you could?
He froze when I was telling him we had an invitation to Augusta, so I'm sorry he missed it.
Yeah, too bad he missed out on that. So yeah, if you could pick one, where is it? I mean, Whistling Straits had to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have spent 3 years officing out of the parking lot at Whistling Straits, so that place will always be near and dear to my heart. But I recently was out at Pebble Beach. Actually had a friend of ours wedding out there. Didn't get to play any golf, but that's one I would love to do that trip. One of my favorite places, not to be too much of a homer to Wisconsin, though, is Sand Valley. And if you guys haven't been there, highly recommend a trip there. You got Sand Valley course, Mammoth Dunes, which is one of my favorite courses, and they just opened up a couple new ones on property. And then they have the Sandbox, which is their short course or par 3 course, which you can play either as a par 3 or you can putt it. So it's a great weekend trip or week trip with a bunch of people.
Oh, that's sweet.
Put that one on your list.
I wrote it down. Or
Wisconsin
one of
trip.
the 20 times I listened to the episode, I'll remember it. So
the Wisconsin golf is pretty good.
We gotta take the trip out of state next time, boys. You heard it here first.
It's an easy drive over too.
Yeah, no kidding.
A lot easier when you can drive it instead of having to fly on those buddy trips.
Yeah, for sure. I have another listener question here, maybe in the operations side. Could have asked Chelsea, but how many brand new golf balls do you guys have to get for the practice range for these?
Oh, we ordered 400 dozen Pro V1s for the range.
Ooh.
Now I will say they all have to go back. It is part of the policy with Titleist that they want all those golf balls back. You can probably imagine why they implemented that policy.
Oh yeah.
Before that was the case, not many of those were getting returned.
So do they hold you like literally to the number? So like if some go missing, you've got to make up the difference somehow?
Yeah, it's impossible here at Harbor Shores, right? You know
Yeah.
the range. Some people hit it left into the Paw Paw Creek, and those are
Yeah.
gone forever. So generally, no. But we do have to get as many of them back as we can. Not like the old days when you might have seen a few practice balls lost on the golf course
Oh yeah.
before this was implemented.
We we were wondering, we were spitballing this idea of an alternate tee box over here from the Marshall Shack. So maybe we should get a couple dozen of those Pro Vs over here, just in case.
I think
take
Matt approved it, didn't he?
Yeah. We were talking to Matt about what it would take to just set up a tee box here in the backyard. I don't know if you got a chance to see that one or not, but we have actually measured it out, and it's it would make for a nice little par 4 alternate for hole number 9 because it's a little closer to the green from my backyard than it is from the tee box.
I've probably put some balls pretty close to your house off 9 tee box before. So
yeah, you and a few others. Exactly.
You gotta get some Marshall Diaries logo golf balls now. You're gonna do that.
Smith was already all over that. Good idea, Smith. Exactly.
That's right.
You gotta start some branding. That's how you get your name out there. I don't have them anymore, but one of our sales guys used to put his name, phone number, and email address on golf balls.
Oh, beautiful. Must have been a realtor.
Anything to sell some tickets. We'll do what it takes.
Because what we did is we made ourselves some little cards for this year, and we've got Smith's patch logo, the hole number 9 with the M.
It's a Marshall, yeah.
It's a Marshall M.
Yeah,
but with a QR code link to the Marshall Diaries and the inside the Ropes podcast. They're just making it easy for all of our fans out there.
Love it.
That's awesome.
You guys gearing up? You ready for next week?
Oh man, we've been getting ready for this. Not maybe the 2 years that you have, but maybe a year and a half.
You're gonna do some live podcasts from the shack.
So it's funny
Talked
you say
about that.
Yeah.
Got,
Next Wednesday.
So we're thinking a couple things, right? And help me out here, guys, because I know it was on our sheet. We've got all the production crew working on this. But so for example, prior to the first round, we're gonna get some footage, videos, pictures, like what normally goes into those Marshall Diary videos, the movie trailers. If Aaron here is willing and able to do it, he was going to put out a Marshall Diary episode actually before the tournament. And it's going to be a compilation of pics and videos from like tomorrow with our packet pickups, Sunday at the volunteer party. I'll probably, whatever I can grab that makes sense from the Pro-Am maybe and all that kind of good stuff. And so that will come out as a Marshall Diaries video before we kick off. Yeah, like a hype video, exactly. Yeah. And then we'll get our daily episodes throughout the tournament. But as far as the podcast, I think we were trying to figure out how to get one set up live from the Marshall Shack as we've got the crew kind of coming in, because we've got Thursday night after the first round, we have a bit of a stag night. We let the guys get a first round in before we do some of the betting. And so that could be an opportunity.
We're not supposed to talk about that. Sorry. But
it, jelly beans.
Talk about that.
I didn't hear it. All good.
We've betting for jelly beans. But yeah, so Wednesday or Thursday night, we're going to try to figure out how to get something going from the Marshall Shack.
Well, let me know if I need to crash the party.
Oh yes, and
I hear
Saturday
there's
night.
I also hear there's an after party being planned on Sunday night, so something to keep on your radar.
Okay, all
Oh,
right. We
all
will. We'll try to stay in the know. So we got we got Aaron and his band are going to be here at the house, live music 6 to 9 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Depending on how things are going at the tournament, if you can sneak away for a few.
Hey, we have an early ending on Saturday, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I know, it's nice. And then yeah, we'll have to find our way around the course Sunday and see what's going on.
Yeah, we can. I might know a thing or two about that.
Might know a thing too. Perfect.
We need to try to snag a caddy. You know, maybe we need to target some like lower tier players, and we don't want to talk to them. But
Snag
we gotta
caddy.
find one of those caddies from one of those lower tier, low on the money list, maybe, and see if we can lure them into a Marshal Diaries episode.
I think I could probably help you out with that.
Yeah, nice.
Hey, if you got some names, let us know either for the podcast or to get somehow a cameo in one of the videos.
I think there's also a local caddy who's going to be caddying during the championship that might give you a cool perspective of caddying for a bigger name.
Oh, really?
So
very cool.
I'll just tease you on that one for a future episode. I know he would be willing to do it.
Fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. Love it. Love it.
That's awesome. Well, one last thing, Smith, don't usually have a couple tips for our guests. You got a Smith's tip?
No, you know what? Really, it was I mean, I've kind of tried to work a couple of them in there. LPGA, we got to bring around here, right? And try to get in here. We think that would be fun and something exciting. So that was a little bit. I think we brought that one up before. You know, we talked about the gear, like the Nike gear is all right. We got to work on that maybe and look at some other brands for some of the volunteer packets. But no, I'm good. I just really was more interested in our golf outing and what kind of tips Brandon could give us. So I don't think I have anything else for Brandon.
I got one other idea to throw at you guys.
Okay.
Since this is the last championship, what about organizing the Marshal Diaries to come on the road and volunteer at one of our away championships?
Oh,
hey,
absolutely.
We're in. Yeah.
We're all over that. Exactly. We were kicking that around as well before, because originally, I mean, first we'd love to do it. One of the guys, Tom Widman on our whole, he also helps out at like some other just regular tour events, but we would love to get involved with a PGA ran event.
I mean, I think you know some people at the PGA of America. We could probably get you set up at one of our other ones.
Let's go.
I mean, we are official sponsors of Whole Nine. I mean, I'm not going to lie. As official sponsors, I would think we would be able to get a spot someplace. So, yeah. We'd love to. It'd be a blast anyway.
I hear there's a Ryder Cup happening next year.
Oh, game on. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little thing called the Ryder Cup. Well, you know, I guess we'll get some we'll get our representatives ready for those negotiations for the official Marshal podcast of the PGA.
Yeah,
you know,
have
sure
your
there's a lot
people
of
get in touch with
podcasts.
my people. We'll work something out. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
No, we would love to have you guys. I think this is, our team has fully embraced what you guys are doing. This is what we want, right? This is, like I said, this is more than just a golf tournament. It's a community event. We want people to have fun while we're doing it. I was just telling the team earlier, like, if we put on a major championship for a living, we got to have fun in what we're doing. It's a privilege to do what we get to do. So many people love attending our events. It's bucket list events for some people. Like, let's not take that for granted. And I absolutely love and respect what you guys are doing with this and having fun with it. So thank you from us and our team and myself for everything you guys do to support our championship. And I love what you're doing with it, and I'm here to support what you're doing 1,000%, and happy to do this. Anything you need from me, I'm all in.
Man, you can't say thank you enough. I mean, holy cow, because like you summed it up. I mean, what you guys are looking for is to have some fun, make it a community event, get involved, make some friends. And we're on the other side embracing that and wanting to promote and celebrate that as well. So that's why we've just done all these things to just have as much fun with it as possible. We appreciate your support and your friendships. Going back even the last couple of years, when the first Marshal Diaries were getting spread around. So yeah,
we gotta take it nationwide now. So it's bittersweet. This is the last one in Harbor Shores for the time being. Let's get this thing on the road.
Let's do it.
We're ready.
All right, man.
Love it.
Well, it sounds like we got some follow up there.
Yep. Brandon, thanks so much for
Of course,
joining us.
if we need to do this post event and do a little recap, let me know.
That's the plan. So we'll be in touch, man, for sure. We'll see you obviously over the next several days. And I love the ideas that you're bringing, and we're all in, man.
Come find us on the course if you're out there and you're out by hole 9. Look for us out there. We'll definitely look for you. Love to say hello.
I will absolutely do that. I'm pretty much living at the golf course at this point, so I'm not a hard one to find at this point either.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Awesome. Yeah,
right.
Thanks a lot, Brandon.
Thanks,
really
Brandon.
appreciate it.
Great to see you,
Thanks,
man.
guys. Talk soon. Bye.
Thanks.
All
Did you
right.
guys hear
that was
that?
awesome.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Ryder Cup? You guys ready?
Game on.
I don't know if we are.
Love it.
I don't know if we are, but
We might have to polish a few things up, but yeah, man.
Who would be more qualified than us, John? Come on.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. How awesome. Well, it's like we talked about, we've always wanted to, well, we said always, but we loved that idea of going to the BMW. That didn't work out, but let's go big or go home.
Yeah.
I love where Brandon's thinking.
Truly, and again, it would be great to get to some other communities and just see how not only how the communities embrace their tournaments, but just the experience, the fan experience, the other being a marshal or volunteer at other sites. I think it'd be fun to experience all of it. We've really only seen it from one lens so far.
Yeah, that community part you're talking about, would love to experience the whole thing, what that town is all about, and the people and the community, the restaurants, the bars, the volunteers that are there. I mean, how
I bet
cool
there's no Marshall Shack anywhere else.
Well, maybe we'll have to rent an RV for the week or whatever it is, and it'll be the new Marshall Mobile. Marshall
Mobile. That's an RV. I love that.
I think the PGA will pay for it. I'm pretty sure. So
we're early in negotiations.
Yeah, that's what I just heard.
Let's not put all of our chips on the table yet. Let's hold some back.
Well, Smith's got something there. I did hear Brandon say, hey, if there's anything you guys need.
Yeah.
So
we need a 53-foot RV.
Yes.
Stocked with booze.
Oh, just imagine those podcasts.
Oh
boy.
That sounds good. So can we maybe get back on schedule here a little bit? I do think, again, hey, we're professional marshals, right? We threw a couple listener questions out there before about what do you do in this situation? But can I put a listener question in front of you guys?
Yeah.
A marshal. So put yourself in your marshal shoes right now. You're out on the course, okay? And let's say you're working the ropes. Like hole 9 has a pathway, a cart path that goes across, and you got to stop ropes and stop traffic. What do you do when a PGA official wants to come through? Usually a PGA official is on their golf cart, right? And they're usually headed someplace in a hurry. And it makes sense, right? Maybe they've got to make a rules decision or something else. But let's say you got a golfer getting ready to hit, and it's kind of running right into that zone, and that PGA official says, nope, I need to get through here right now. What do you do as a marshal?
That scenario has happened. It happened to me once. And what I did is I just let them know. I pointed up to the tee box, and I was like, they're getting ready to hit. And then I leave it up to them as to what they want to do. And
what do you do in that case? Do you remember?
I think he kept on driving.
Oh, really?
He questioned your authority, Aaron?
Well, I didn't have the patch on. So, he looked at me as like a junior marshal.
I think the patch makes a huge difference. Because that happened to me once too, but I had a patch and I told him to hold up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he
He was
listened,
not happy.
we need the chevrons, right? What does 3 up and 3 down mean, right? Yeah. Maybe in future years. All right. Well, Johnny, what's your thoughts on this? PGA official wants to go through. Do you question Aaron's thinking on this, or do you take a different approach?
Well, like I said, I had it happen one time as well, and I held him up. Same thing as Aaron, though. I was pointing up why, but I think ultimately, obviously, he could have done like you were saying, Aaron, like let him choose and do what he wants. So we ultimately ended up in the same spot where it was like he became aware of the situation. I had said like, no, you need to hold up because of the golfer, but again, he could have been like, get out of my way, guy. But as soon as he saw the golfer on the tee box, he did end up in that case holding up. So his emergency must not have been as urgent as Aaron's, because I'm sure at the end of the day, that's the key. What do? You let them know what's happening, and then they can make their decision.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
Speaking of that crosswalk, though, guys, how ridiculous are some of these examples we see of like, do you realize you are on a golf course with these people that like walk halfway across and there's 2 or 3 of them, and then they'll just stop and they'll stop and they'll start talking to each other. And I remember one time where like one guy had his arm on another guy's shoulder and they were just having like a conversation like they were at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like,
taking a selfie in the middle of the fairway as a golfer's getting ready to hit. And
and it's like you got to go scoot them off like they're a bunch of geese out there. Like, gotta go. And like that's like one of the toughest jobs for sure is that crosswalk.
Maybe we need to have pellet guns like like they use sometimes to keep the geese off of the course.
Okay, I'll take that a little further. How about if everybody gets a collar to go across the crosswalk? You got to take a PGA collar that just it doesn't zap them, but it buzzes them. It's just annoying.
Just good, yeah.
It's kind of like an invisible fence the other way. It just increasingly gets more annoying the longer they linger in there until they get outside the ropes.
Yeah, I got to say that's probably the most fun spot to work on hole 9. So again, hole 9. I mean, there's a sidewalk right through the middle. If you're standing on that sidewalk, it's a great view either direction as well, either back to the tee or down to the hole. So it's a great picture shot too.
Yeah.
But as a marshal, man, that working that spot's the most fun. It's just you get a lot of fun people engagement and
the crosswalk.
Yeah, it's just fun to see all the people, and a lot of mostly all of them are in a good mood and happy to be there and excited to be there. So it's always kind of fun to
I love that like final round. Like, what's the spot that you would want to be at with the final group coming through? For me, I would take that crosswalk for sure.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, it's going to be the biggest crowd you're going to get kind of the whole tournament.
I'd go there or the tee box. I you just sort of you're up there with just the players sometimes, and it's kind of a special moment where you're like, wow, these guys are playing for a lot of money here, And,
I mean, that tee box is so special because no spectators are allowed up there. To your point, it's like you and them. I think we talked about that in one of the podcasts. So it's like, what do you do? Do you talk to him? Do you say hi? You say nice shot? But the very last group, it would be interesting. I don't think I've been up there for a final pairing just to see what that dynamic is. Right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. What about you, Smith? Where would you want to be?
Yeah, the ropes would be fun. Man, if you on hole 9, you can't go wrong. I mean, come on. The tee box is great. Again, love being up. One of the very few tee boxes probably that are really that isolated too, right? I think that's cool. The best view in the whole tournament up there anyway. So that's it's certainly a great spot. The crosswalk's fun just from all the people engagement, and the green is always a good spot in general too, just because there's action up there, and you actually get the clapping and the people gathering a little bit. I don't know. There's some other spots that aren't as sexy out there for sure, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd probably go tee box or crosswalk personally.
Or crosswalk. Do you
Just
like
fun to be inside the ropes
versus the other side, one side or the other more? Does it matter?
One side you're hidden, but if you're on the north side, you're kind of hidden behind the bunker, and you can't really see the balls or the shots. So you're kind of like right in the target zone a little bit.
I know if they tug it over there,
Yeah.
I think we need a hard hat in that spot.
Honestly, yeah. So I'd probably take the other one, but
That's kind of fun though. I enjoy like the challenge of somebody hits their drive off into the rough stuff. You got to find it, and
Yep.
feel sort of proud. You're like, I found your golf ball right here. That was me.
yeah, truly, every spot's good out there. Just you get a little bit different type of action in every location that you're at. But we'll put the rooks out in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, we Brandon was saying, he knows somebody who could help us out with the PGA stuff. Aaron and I, we know some captains that can figure out positions on the final round.
No comment from me.
Smith, you're going to be in spot 2, on the bottom of the hill, with the last group coming through. It's going to be tough though, because we have our entire group working our final round. So like, I don't know if you saw it there.
I just rotate.
What's that?
Just got to keep everybody rotating. Wherever you land is where you land.
Yeah. We are tightening up that rotation each year. Like this whole rover thing is the key, and getting it's like happy wife, happy life, like happy rotation, happy Marshall. Like it was nasty there in 2018 a few times.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a little extreme. I can say it's never been awful, and it's never been difficult doing any of the jobs, right? But
no, not at all.
But if you're stuck in a spot for 2 hours, you get a little bit anxious, and you get a little bit ready to move along. So,
but if it wasn't for a situation like that, we wouldn't have ended up with the Marshal Diaries, because you found yourself in a spot where you just had a little bit of time on your hands and started taking some pictures. So.
Makes
Good
sense.
things happen from the craziest situations.
Yes, sir.
Let's take one last peek at our illustrious hole here.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Hole 9.
Look at that beautiful tee
There's
box.
the hole down at the bottom there. Yep.
All right, then we
tee box right there.
Yeah, this like we were saying before, that bunker on the right. I mean, that's the key. I think they're targeting to go right over that.
Yep.
And so we're always spotting balls there to the right, also to the left.
There's this crosswalk.
The crosswalk. And that's the crazy part, is that cross right there. People think maybe the crosswalk ends there. It doesn't. They got to make it all the way over to the other end of the rope.
Yeah.
What a beautiful hole. Holy cow.
We'll get a Marshal over here on the right-hand side up on the fairway usually, right?
Yeah, that approach area by the bunker.
Yep.
And then somebody down by the green.
A couple little crew usually down by the green as well. A couple maybe down there.
Yep. And then that's what we were saying, that spot, they had the same thing in 2022. We did this as well, right? They had a position on the map to be not only at the green, but then at the rope to allow the players to walk to the golf cart. But what we found is that the person marshaling the green, as soon as the last guy putts out, he easily can be the one who walks over and grabs that rope. So that's why we just have that dude on the ropes be the rover.
Yep.
So
that was good.
And here's the other thing I'm going to do is I'll make sure I'm going to print out. I'm going to print out starting rotation, like starting locations for each shift, so we also don't run into any of those situations, or try not to. Again, looking for the volunteers' experience here, where, oh, dude, I'm in the same spots every time, because you don't get a full rotation of the 9 spots in a shift. So it's like I'll make sure that, like, let's say, Smith, you're not starting on spot number 4 and ending up on spot number 8 every time.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'll
just
mark me at spot 8 next time or something. Yeah, that makes some sense.
To change it up a little bit. And then we'll have some bartering and negotiating for the final spot on the last day. And it's a little bit of a luck of the draw, because we can predict how many switches you'll make. So if you want to end up on spot 5 or 6 of the rope, Do you start on 2? Maybe take one for the team and go in the hole there out of the gate, but know that you'll end up on 5 or 6. But you don't know like how slow a play it's going to be and this, that, and the other. So,
And as an assistant hole captain,
really?
Self-appointed title. I mean, I might just park myself at the ropes the whole time, and just, I'm just, throwing out ideas here and title ideas.
Well, here's the beauty of any of the days, but in particular the last day is you having a little bit extra help doesn't hurt. So, for example, Aaron, like just with the numbers, Uncle Tom, he's always out there. I mean, you're out there every day anyway, so no matter who he's with. But I had him as our number 10 guy for the final round because he's going to start the morning shift, and I'm just going to be like, stick around. Like, if you want to stick around, because we can use an extra guy at the ropes, at the crosswalk, at whatever, and we'll just get as many guys involved as they want to be, right? Especially that last day.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
All right, boys.
Okay.
Can I drop a Smith's tip on you guys real quick?
Oh, you got one more?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
yeah, he's got one. I think you mentioned last time that you were working on.
Well, yes, there is. Let me get this opened up here real quick and just share my screen. So we're gonna spotlight Beagle Golf today, and this came from Aaron and Nolan, I think, threw this out there. I'm just going to read. We're not going to read this whole thing, but Beagle LLC, our mission is to create an inclusive and stylish golf apparel that embodies functionality, comfort, and confidence on the course. We aim to be golf's best friend for the everyday golfer, providing high-quality products that enhance performance and promote a sense of camaraderie within the golfing community. They go on to talk about a little bit more of their vision here as well. I will spotlight. They've got something coming up here that they're trying to sponsor the 2024 Beagle Open. Okay, so July 13th, epic day of golf at Pipestone Creek Golf Course here locally in Southwest Michigan. A few picks from last year. Okay, I'll start off and just say I'm in. What more do you think?
There you go, Smithson.
I'm in. This is talking to me right now. So I'm not quite sure. This is a little logo that Beagle uses. I'm not sure what the connectivity is on this one, but it looks like they had a good time. Yet again, I'm in. So looking fun. All right, back to business. So a few of their products. They don't have a ton of selection. Only a couple things I picked out. Smith's Tips pulled out a couple things. The Cloud Drift Vest.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah, who doesn't need a nice vest? And they're decent price. I think, what did I see?
$74 I saw.
$75 for this. Vest is always nice. Works kind of all time of year. And then I also went with a little bit more of a fun hat here. This Beagle Country Club. I like the fun. They're trying to have a little fun. Beagle Country Club on this one. So $35, good price. So anyway, quick Smith's tips on Beagle Golf.
Wow, man.
Yes. And as always, if you want my vote, give me free product, and I will say yes.
Well,
we say we wanted to get
the Beagle Open. We need to maybe consider the Beagle Open as being for the Marshal Diaries.
We might need to.
Don't you know the Beagle guys, Aaron?
Nolan knows them, yeah, but one of them is I think it's Mason Durham, if I'm not mistaken, who's one of the pros at Harbor Shores.
But and he's one of the co-founders of Beagle brand or whatever it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. So July 13th, I'm looking at it right now. It's a Saturday. It might have been one of the dates that was competing for the Farm Fest. Don't know that for sure.
The summer soiree. Yeah, we got to get that finalized.
Got to get that finalized. But yeah, from those pictures you were showing, definitely looks like it was a good time last year. And maybe we can make a deal with those guys, not only to get some swag, some merch, if we broadcast a podcast from the outing at the beginning of the outing and then play.
They are looking for sponsors as well. So not only folks that want to play, but also sponsors. So Beagle Golf, something to see if we can get connected with.
I like it.
Great
tip. All right, boys. That's awesome.
Another great episode. Always good to hang with you guys. And
Cheers, gents.
Have fun at the Cubs game tonight, sir.
I will. You guys
Cheers.
enjoy your evening. Cheers.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
Tomorrow, Smith. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.